Okay, do you know what is REST API?
Sir, REST stands for Representational State Transfer. It is an architectural style for designing applications, where resources are represented as URL, and interactions are stateless and which follows HTTP methods.
Okay, explain HTTP methods used in REST.
Sir, HTTP methods are GET, which is used to retrieve data from the server, POST, which creates a new resource on the server, PUT, which update an existing resource on the server, DELETE, which remove a resource from the server, and PATCH, which partially update a resource.
What is the purpose of the HTTP status codes in REST?
HTTP status codes indicate the outcome of an HTTP request. Common ones include 200 for success response, 400 for bad request, 400 for not found, and 500 internal server error.
Great. What is content negotiation in REST?
Sir, content negotiation allows clients and servers to agree on the format of the data being exchanged, such as JSON or XML, by specifying the accept and content type headers in HTTP requests and responses.
How can you secure a RESTful API?
RESTful API can be secured through methods like API keys, tokens, example JWT OAuth, authentication, authorization, and HTTPS for encryption.
Explain the difference between a REST API and a SOAP API.
Sir, REST API use HTTP methods for communication and are typically lighter in terms of data format, example JSON. While SOAP API use a more rigid XML-based messaging protocol over various transport protocols.
Okay, so what does stateless means in REST?
Sir, stateless means that each individual request from a client to a server must contain all the information necessary to understand and process that request. In other words, the server does not maintain any information or state about the client's previous interactions.
Okay, how do you create a RESTful API in Springboot?
To create a RESTful API in Springboot, we typically use the @REST-controller annotation on our controller class and use @request mapping or more specific annotations like @get mapping, @post mapping, @put mapping, to define endpoints.
Okay, so what is the difference between @REST-controller and @controller in Spring MVC?
Sir, @controller is used for traditional web applications and is typically combined with @response body to return data directly. While @REST-controller is a specialized version of @controller that is used for RESTful API, and it implies @response body by default.